right, this week you've got some interactive notebook pieces. This is still going in your geometry section. So this is the standard that says, I can divide shapes into equal shares and describe the shares using fraction words. So you have one page that's got shapes that are just plain white. You're going to need to cut all of your shapes out. And then we're going to start folding them so that we create equal parts. So the key to that is when you fold them, your sides have to match up. So I started with the triangle, and we could only fold it one way. We call this line that we created a line of symmetry. Now, a lot of times that question shows up on your diagnostic for iReading. They like to ask you to choose a shape that shows lines of symmetry. Symmetry just means it has to look exactly the same on both sides. Same shape, same size. So there's only one way we could fold this triangle to make that line of symmetry. So I shaded in one part of this shape. And then we talked about that this creates a fraction. The name of this fraction is half. So to write a half, we have two total parts. So I wrote two total parts. Your total always goes on the bottom of your fraction bar. We call the bottom a denominator. So we have two total parts, so 2 is my denominator, and one part is shaded. This is our unit fraction. Unit means 1. So this is 1/2 of my triangle is shaded. We would say this triangle is divided into halves. Half looks just like this, 1/2. 1 out of 2 total parts. You also had a trapezoid. We folded it also in a half, and then we shaded one part. So our numerator is 1, our denominator is 2. Both of these, the triangle and the trapezoid, are showing you a half. This one we could not fold it to make the sides match, so we said it had no lines of symmetry. So that's what we wrote. No way to fold this to have equal parts. So this would just be one hole here. Now a rectangle can be folded in different ways. So we folded it like this, and we created 4 equal parts and shaded one of those. So our total goes on bottom. We have 4 total pieces. One part of that is shaded. This is my unit fraction, which is 1/4. The word to describe these parts would be fourths, because we have 4 equal parts. So 1/4 for our rectangle. We had a pentagon. We folded it 5 times. So when we did that, we created 10 equal parts. So this shape is divided into tenths. So I wrote tenths. Our unit fraction would be 1/10. 1 part out of a total of 10. So it looks like that, tenths. The circle, we said you could fold a circle infinite ways. I can keep folding and folding and folding as long as it goes through the middle. One thing you cannot do with a circle is you cannot make stripes. Stripes are not equal parts. This stripe is larger than this stripe. So you cannot do stripes on a circle. So we did it like this. We decided to cut or divide our circle into 3 equal parts. If you have 3 parts, we call that thirds. And our unit fraction would be 1 out of 3, or 1/3. And last, we had our square. We divided our square into 8ths. Shaded one part, so that would be 1/8. Our unit fraction is 1/8. So one more time, here's this page. You can pause and go back. Down at the bottom it says, an equal part means an object has parts that are all the same size. You can, like I said, you cannot do stripes on a circle. When you divide your shape into equal parts, you have to make sure every part is the same size. Okay, the next page that you have, still working on fractions, looks like this with the lines already on the shape. You're going to cut those out. Our standard says I can divide shapes into equal shares and describe the shares using fraction words. So here was the first square. They did stripes that are equal size pieces. Our unit fraction would be 1/3 because unit means 1 and we have 3 total pieces. Then I went through and I shaded, so there were 2 shaded, so we would say there are 2/3 shaded. 2 parts are shaded out of a total of 3. On the rectangle, we counted and we saw there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. So my unit fraction would be 1/6. Unit means 1, so 1 part out of 6 total. Then I shaded 3 of those parts, so we have 3 unit fractions shaded. So our shaded fraction would be 3/6. 3 shaded out of 6 total pieces. Our 3/6 of the rectangle are shaded. This rectangle was divided differently. They divided it into 8ths. So our unit fraction would be 1/8. There are 8 unit fractions. 5 of them are shaded, so our shaded fraction would be 5/8. The next one was a square. They divided this square into 16 equal parts. So my unit fraction would be 1/16. I shaded 4 of the unit fractions, so my shaded part would be 1, 2, 3, 4 out of a total of 16, 4/16. You had 2 circles. This circle was divided into 8 unit fractions, so my unit fraction is 1/8. Unit means 1, 8 total pieces, 1/8. I shaded 1, so also my shaded fraction is 1/8. So they match this time because only 1 piece was shaded. And the last circle was divided into 6 total pieces. So my unit fraction would be 1/6. Unit means 1 out of 6 total. I shaded all of the fractions, all unit fractions. So my shaded fraction would be 6/6. 6 pieces out of 6 pieces are shaded, and 6 out of 6 equals 1 whole circle that is shaded. Remember, your numerator is always the top number in a fraction. It shows how many parts you have. Your denominator is always the bottom number in a fraction, and it shows how many equal parts the shape is divided into. And I want you to write the word total under denominator. We talked today about to get that bottom number, your denominator, you count every single piece. That is your total amount. One more time, this page will look like this. You can rewatch it as many times as you need to. Pause it as needed so that you can shade in and get all of your fractions written.